begin, you'll have ample opportunities for photographs also. Thank you. We'll just begin. Be careful of the wires. In fact, we just lost our projection to these screens. We'll just rectify that. Good afternoon and welcome to this press conference of the Election Commission of India. Present before us on the dais are Chief Election Commissioner Shri Rajiv Kumar ji, Election Commissioner Shri Anup Chand Pandey ji, Election Commissioner Shri Arun Goyal ji, Senior Deputy Election Commissioner Shri Dharmen Sharma ji, Mr. Nitesh Vyas, Deputy Election Commissioners Mr. Ajay Bhadu, Ridesh Kumar ji, CEO Karnataka Mr. Manoj Meena, and I'm DG Communication Shefali Sharan. Over the last 2 days, ECI team led by CEC Shri Rajiv Kumar ji has had in-depth meetings with the local administration and agencies. I would request Rajiv Kumar sir to give an overview, and thereafter the floor would be open for your questions.
And they can look at the PPT that side.
The PPT right now is available on the screen ahead of us. We are trying to rectify and get the projection to these also. We would be tweeting these also, so you'll get live updates of what is happening here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shefali ji. Honorable Election Commissioner Shri Anup Chand Pandey ji on my right and Shri Arun Goyal ji on my left, senior officers from the Commission, friends from the media, I welcome you all to this press conference organized today in India's own Silicon Valley. Let me throw you first, pay our namaskaram and gratitudes to everyone, every voter in Karnataka, and also request them to proactively participate in the forthcoming elections. In these 3 days, the Commission met with all the political parties, their representatives, national political parties. We heard them at length, and also all the Deputy Commissioners, SPs, IGs, Commissioners of Police, VVMP Commissioner, all the enforcement agencies, Chief Secretary, DG. So I'll give you a brief on what transpired, what were the directions given, what is the preparedness. Friends, as you know, population of the state of Karnataka is, as per the 2011 census, is 6.1 crores, and almost consisting of equal male and female population. The term of the Karnataka Legislative Assembly is till 24th of May 2023. So the new assembly has to be in place. Elections have to be completed before that. As you know, there are 224 assembly constituencies, of which 36 are SCs and 15 are scheduled tribe constituencies. If you look at the voters profile of the state, there are 2.62 crores male voters and almost equal number of 2.59 crores female voters. There are, we have taken on ourselves to mark all the persons with disability. So there are 555, and there are 80 plus voters who are 12,15,000. And you will be happy to know that there are close to 17,000 voters who are 100 and plus. This is, and first time voters are 9,17,000. So entire electoral roll has voters ranging from 18 years to 100 years plus. That's the beauty of the democracy and all our inclusive voter list. Friends, a special summary revision is just recently completed. And during the SSR exercise, the Commission has laid emphasis on the new age voters, as I mentioned, the first time voters, the women, transgenders, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, persons with disabilities. We went extra mile to cover all these voters into our electoral rolls. And role gender ratio in this state is 988. That's a very healthy gender ratio. So the women voters are also almost equal. And as you know, in the last general election to parliament, women voters in 2019 were more than the male voters. So that is what our request to our women voters here also to participate in the forthcoming elections more and more. The senior citizens and PWDs, you would be happy to know that from 2018 we have laid special emphasis that nobody should be left behind. So number of 80 plus electors is 12.15 lakh. And similarly, the persons with disabilities, this is also increased to 5.55 lakhs, which is close to 158%. So this is our concern that, every person with disability should be empowered and come to the voting station. For the first time, as you all know, we are going to provide in Karnataka the facility to all the 80 plus voters and also the PWD voters, if they so desire, to vote even from the comfort of their home. Our teams will go. There is a Form 12D, which will be available within 5 days of the notification, so that any 80 plus citizen voter or the PWD voter desirous of voting from the home because of certain reasons, we will facilitate it. Though we would encourage them to come to the polling stations, because that's the real festival of democracy. And many of them want to come. That's our experience in the recently held elections. But still, those who cannot come, they will be facilitated to vote from their home. And all the precautions would be taken to secure the secrecy of the vote. The political parties, candidates would be informed in advance. They would be allowed to go. The entire process would be videographed, so that nobody can say that at the home you have taken vote this side or that side. So it's a totally transparent system of voting, and I'm sure the people will take advantage of this. All political parties and the candidates would definitely be informed whenever there is a movement for the voting at the house. The facilities to senior citizens and PWDs further at the polling station would include, we'll provide a wheelchair to everybody, we'll provide priority in voting, pick and drop facility, dedicated parking, and there is a new application, IT-based, mobile-based application we have made, the PWD app called Saksham. All the persons with disability can log in and book the facilitation they want at the polling station. They can tell us in advance if they want a help, a volunteer, or a wheelchair or something. And there would be braille ballot facility also for the visually handicapped, visually persons with disability. Inclusively, if we look at the inclusivity of the elections, our special focus is now continuously on connecting with the youth. We'll dwell on this a little more. You would be again happy to know that within a year, because of the special focus, the number of first-time voters in the age group of 18 to 19 has increased from 4 lakh to 9 lakh 17,000. This is our effort to involve all the young voters into the process of elections. It is now actually their responsibility. It's appealed to them through you that all of them should come and vote in the larger numbers. More so, what we have started doing is that if somebody is becoming 18th next year, whosoever is 17 plus, we have also enabled that they can file advance applications. So we already have 1,25,000 applications which are advanced. And this is first time happening after the 4 dates, qualifying dates, have been enabled by the legislation change. And because of this, again, if earlier the cutoff date was 1st of January. So if somebody is born on 2nd of January, he'll have to wait for 1 year. Now, out of this 1,25,000 advance applications, there are 41,432 applications of those voters who would become 18 by 1st of April 2023. meaning thereby they would be able to participate in this election. This has happened because of the amendment which has been enacted in the law, that there are 4 qualifying dates, and these 41,000 voters would be enabled on 1st of April to cast their vote and participate in the democracy. Though it's a big cause of concern that young voters these days are not coming to the voting stations, to the polling stations so much with so much of enthusiasm. 2 things are happening which we are concerned and are also trying to tackle: the urban apathy and the youth apathy. We had a session in the Indian Institute of Science yesterday. We addressed the youth there. It is in their interest, it is in the interest of democracy that the youth come, and also the urban areas. Just to say in a lighter vein, the time is spent on the social media by the youth, if even 1,000th of the time is taken out, it takes much lesser a time to put a button on the ballot unit rather than on the social media pads. So I'm sure they'll come out. Friends, there are 2 particularly vulnerable tribal groups in the state of Karnataka. They're Jenu Kurba and Koraga tribes. We have taken special efforts this time. This is again an inclusive part of our electoral role. Both the PBTGs have a population of 30,517, and all of them have been enrolled as the electors this time, 100%. And there would be 40 ethnic polling stations also in tribal areas for the PBTGs. Similarly, the transgenders. There are 42,756 transgender in the state, and we have registered 41,312. Every person has a right to vote and participate in the festival of democracy. So the women, youth, urban areas, PBTGs, old age, transgender, everybody is a focus of the Election Commission, that everybody participates in the election. I'll now give you this was the electoral part. I'll give you an overview of the polling stations. Total number of polling stations in the state is 58,282, with an average voter per polling station being 883. We will have, as a part of our empowerment, as I mentioned recently, we'll have 1,320 booths which will be managed only by women staff, all women. Similarly, 224, one in each constituency booth would be managed by the persons with disability. So it's not that they are dependent on us, they will show that we can also equally perform, and we'll manage the entire booth. This is our small tribute to them, to show and make them empowered. And through the process of this, the entire society becomes fully sensitized towards the needs and towards the appreciation of the PWDs. We have also started that in order to address the youth, whosoever is the youngest employee of the government, we are setting up 224 booths to be managed by our youth employees, young employees also. 50% of, as of now, 50% of the booths would be direct webcast. The sensitive booths have, I'll tell you about the sensitive booths also. There are 1,200 critical polling stations. Of those, there would be either webcast direct, or there would be a micro observer. So in some way or there would be CAPF. Either of the 3 as an added precaution, seeing the sensitivity of those elections. Cumulatively, they would be managed by an extra sense of precaution. Just to show you some kind of attempt we would be making to make the polling stations very friendly, your voting experience being very conducive and in the true sense of the festival of democracy. This is to enhance the voters' experience at the polling station. Just a glimpse will be our DCs will be doing, setting up polling stations, model polling stations to facilitate the voting. As regards the assured minimum facilities, each polling station would have facilities of drinking water, electricity, ramp and toilet. And since it would be heat time also, they would also have shades. Commission has also started a new, is taking an endeavor, we are taking it on ourselves again, to say that the infrastructure in the schools should not be of temporary nature. You see, this is a wasteful expenditure that every time election comes and in the schools we create temporary infrastructure. So we are emphasizing that now the infrastructure in the schools would be permanent. And we are hopeful that in Karnataka, the infrastructure in terms of drinking water, electricity, ramp, toilet would be of a permanent nature in all these schools. So that's a kind of a gift of the election to the schools, to the students. They have separate toilets, boys and girls. They have ramp. PWD students have ramp. 13 to 57% in 2018. So we are confident that with the help of you all, you will also help us in spreading this message to the urban areas, including yourself, all of you. So this is the trend which we witnessed in the last recently held elections also. We saw it in Shimla, we saw it in areas in Rajkot. So we are constantly bringing it to the notice and to the fore as a discussion point amongst the youth and amongst the urban areas to sensitize them that it is their duty and it is in their interest that they participate in the elections. So I'm sure that you would convey this message of ours to this slide. We are keeping it a little longer so that you can absorb it and get it absorbed further. It's a India's IT hub, and actually the IT hub of the world now. The message given by everybody from Bangalore has a potential and has a ripple effect that if we can put here, other urban areas of the country would all follow suit. We are very confident that this would happen this time here. We yesterday met large number of CEOs, university, vice chancellors, professors, students. And we really saw a kind of enthusiasm in them. That yes, they have not been exposed to this kind of apathy earlier. So they realized, understood that the issue of urban apathy and youth apathy is mainstream now. It's in a discussion, it's on a discussion table. So I'm sure that this will happen. And in this way, we also started an election hackathon. A hackathon we are saying, it's light of this. We are thankful to the Institute of IISc and also Triple IIT. They are doing it for us in collaboration with them. So the questions which are being set in two phases. The first phase starts and will end till March 10. It started from 10 and for 21 days, which would be how to enhance participation of urban and youth voters. So it's everybody can participate in this electhon. Kindly, my request is to popularize it. We want to get as many suggestions and solutions from the enlightened people of Karnataka so that it can spread into the other states also. And how to ensure registration of new voters in a better way. Though our apps are very apt, but still if there is a scope, and devise solutions that can boost voter turnout on election day. So our request to everyone here, with the help of the enlightened voters, to suggest us so that we can improve these participation, not only in Karnataka, but follow this in the other states also, whenever we witness these kind of apathy. Friends, being in the IT city, I'll mention about the IT applications of the commission, which can be used during the polling, during the election. Anybody can check his or her name on the electoral roll in this helpline application, which is a very handy application. You can know your booth, you can connect to your BLO, RLO, you can see results, you can see all election trends, you can find about EVMs, whatever you want to know. It's a voter helpline. Please find time to go through this, it will be helpful. The next is Saksham. This is about voters interface. The Suvidha is for the interface with the political parties and candidates, so that candidates don't have to run here and there. They can file nominations and affidavits online. They can also seek permission for rallies and other things online. And we have directed all our DCs, all our DOs, AROs, that the permissions for the meetings and other rallies and other entitlements would be strictly on first in, first out basis, so that there is a level playing field available. Whosoever applies for a land first, whichever candidate will get it first, so that there is no bias in at the level of the election machinery. And since this will have a digital trail, a time stamp through the app, this can be easily monitored. Saksham app I spoke about. This is for our friends, our enlightened voters or persons with disability. This is a very important initiative again, and this is called as Know Your Candidate. So what does it mean? All candidates' criminal records, if any, would be available on this application. So as soon as nominations are filed, and if there is a criminal record of any candidate, it will be uploaded on this website. Not only this, the candidates will have to publish on 3 different occasions in 3 newspapers necessarily about their own criminal background. This app will also have the details of their assets, liabilities, everything you want to know about a candidate would be available. And in addition, the political parties will also have to publish on their website and on the social media platforms and also in newspapers, one national and one regional, about the reasons that they selected the person candidate with a criminal background. They'll have to explain, they will have to make the voters aware that as to what are these compelling reasons that they could not select anybody other than a person with a criminal background. So this is for empowering our voters, that before they exercise their right to vote, they have a full right to know about the candidates also. Friends, at every stage, as we say, roll to poll, electoral rolls to the polling, there are 2 basic pivots on which we work, which is disclosure and which is transparency. So every time, in all processes, political parties and candidates are involved. It's an updation of electoral roll, standing committee meetings, FLC, EVM movement, booth level agents, polling agents, counting. At every stage, every process is transparent, and candidates are allowed to participate in it. So this is to ensure that they have the fullest possible confidence in the system. Storage of EVMs, this is all notified in advance as to which routes they will take, where they will go. EVMs warehouses they can stay there, candidates. Though all EVM warehouses have 3 layers of security. One by the inner CAPF, the second circle by the state armed police, and third by the district police. Still, they are videographed, there are CCTVs, but still candidates or their agents can stay. If I just narrate to you for participating in the festival of democracy and tell you, each state has a different set of challenges when we go and do the elections. But what we are trying to do, that the challenges that particular state has are tackled. If you look at these recently held elections, just last 5, this becomes close to how many? Roughly 66,000 booths in 4 states. There was not even one re-poll on any of these states, any of the booths. Gujarat, Himachal, Meghalaya, Tripura, all four put together around 66,000 booths. There was not even one re-poll. When we went to Tripura, the headlines, if you would see in newspapers, were that Tripura votes out violence. That was the problem there. So, we have specific problems which all of you know in Karnataka also. Will come to that. But the point I am trying to say that percentage of voting in all these states is either same or increasing. And so is the case about the peacefulness of the elections and participation. You can see on our website and on our CEO's websites large queues from the beginning, from 6 o'clock itself in the morning, because the voting starts there in the eastern parts at 7. So this is just to say that how participative it is, and again to show and enthuse the voters from Karnataka and Bangalore to come and participate in the elections. The seizures, this is in particular I am showing here because it has direct relation to Karnataka also. I will come to this. Karnataka has, we are aware, has a major concern, which is use of money power. We'll talk about it. But just to show you that as against 43 crores seizures in 2018-17 elections, in these recently held 5 state elections, we have been able to seize close to 1,000 crores. We have started our meetings with all enforcement agencies in Karnataka also. We met with agencies like State Police, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Central GST, State GST, Excise, Income Tax, CBIC, Coast Guard, everyone. ED, airports, movement of helicopters, airplanes, unchartered flights, borders, state borders, manning, to ensure what? To direct them and to ensure that illegal and irregular use or inflow of any freebie or money or liquor is strictly guarded and not allowed to happen. This is what is the clear direction given to the enforcement agencies, and I am sure that they would start working on this with far more seriousness. And in any case, when the MCC comes into being, our special focus would be on this. All these are the agencies who have been specifically directed, including Coast Guard and everyone. And I must tell you, they have been also directed that even the vans of the banks who are carrying cash for ATMs and all would not move after 5 o'clock in the evening till 10 o'clock in the morning. Because at times those vans are also used to carry illegal cash. So all these are the actions. Air Intelligence Unit would keep watch on all the unscheduled chartered flight helicopters so that nothing is transported through them. We'll also keep strict watch on online bribery or distribution of money through wallets or through those kind of things. Banks will keep a strict watch on it. From one account, there is no bulk transfer. The bribery to voters is a thing which is disturbing trend, and it is against the principles of democracy. So we are very serious about it. We want inducement-free elections. The kind of distributions which are reported, the kind of warehouses, godowns, wherever the freebies can possibly be stored or can be distributed from. Next. And for this, how you can help us in this? Please, through your medium, I want to appeal again, please popularize this. This is an application again which we have made called the C Vigil. C means actually citizens be vigilant. If there is anything which the citizens feel is wrongly happening in the society, somebody is distributing money, somebody is distributing freebies or anything, defacing the property, doing irregular activities, anything. They can write through this app from their mobile or take a photo and upload it. If they want to be anonymous, that is also possible. They may not give their name. But what will happen, we'll take the location, latitude and longitude of the person from where the picture is loaded, and our nearest police QRT will ensure that there is a QRT in a range of 5 to 6 kilometers. The system will automatically guide the nearest QRT, which will reach that place and report back within 100 minutes. People have used this application in other elections. The kind of seizures which increased are because of this. This is also one reason that our intelligence increased, and the common man who always gets affected by these kind of irregular things have felt motivated to inform us. And our system is automated. The moment we get the let-long, the moment we get the complaint, it goes to the nearest check unit, QRT, and sector magistrate, and they reach there and report in 100 minutes time. So please popularize this. We'll be very thankful to you that you have enabled us through your citizens to kind of help in seizing all this. Friends, coming to an end, elections after elections, media has been our closest ally. You have been eyes and ears of the commission. It's only through you that we hear the whatever is happening. You report and it comes to our notice. So we also appeal to you at this juncture that please, on our behalf, help us in next 1.5 months to popularize and to tell your voters to at least come and vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll take some questions. Before you ask, I would request you to please introduce yourself and then begin your question. Here on the right. We'll take a few questions before sir answers those. We can hear you.
Just 1 second.
Hello, sir.
1 second.
Chidanand Patel, TV 18.
Can you identify yourself, please? I thought that gentleman was asking a question here.